On the cold winter night in Jackson Township, Ohio, just past 9 p.m., emergency services received a call from a father, his desperation echoing through the wintry chaos.
Jackson Township Police.
Hi, yes, I need some help.
Okay, where are you at?
4924 Portage Street.
Okay, what's going on?
I can't find my daughter.
Okay, how old is she?
5. She just turned 5.
Liang Zhao can't find his daughter. 5-year-old Ashley Zhao vanished from her parents' restaurant.
Just pray that if somebody took her, that they would have the heart to bring her home, because I'm sure that parents are just in such distress.
Yet, her destiny was far darker than a missing child. This is the story of Ashley Zhao, the little one who was betrayed in the worst possible way by her own parents. Today, we will unravel the mind of one of the most evil mother to ever walk the face of the earth. In the heart of Jackson Township, Ohio, a seemingly ordinary family owned a local Chinese restaurant, Ang's Asian Cuisine. But Ming Chen and Liang Zhao, the couple who owned the restaurant, held a secret that would shatter the tranquility of their small town. Their daughter's body was discovered hidden within the walls of their seemingly ordinary eatery.
Confused and devastated, family, friends, and total strangers rushed to Ang's Asian restaurant Tuesday night to confirm the horrific news.
To break the chains of oppression, many Chinese citizens moved to the United States. 2 of such immigrants were Ming Chen and Liang Zhao. They settled in Ohio and opened a restaurant. They were living their American dream, but then, in 2017, tragedy struck when the police received a call from their restaurant.
And, we went to work and, we let her sleep. We got busy, and then after it got busy, we started cleaning up, and then, we opened the door, and she's not here.
Okay, sir, what's your name?
Liang Zhao.
Liang Zhao packed his bags in China in the late 90s and set his sights on the Big Apple, New York. He dove headfirst into the American dream, grinding day in and day out until he got that coveted U.S. citizenship. Fast forward a bunch of years, and in 2008, he met a beautiful Chinese girl, Ming Chen. Ming's journey wasn't that straightforward. It all went down in August 2008. As a teenager, she took the wild route, pulling off an undercover immigration adventure from China to the USA. She shelled out a jaw-dropping $20,000 to a human smuggler just to sneak her across the border. Ming takes flight from China, lands in Mexico, and goes undercover, tucked away in a vehicle as she crosses the U.S. border. Next stop, New York. And who's there to greet her? None other than her uncle, who whisks her off to Ohio. Fast forward. A year into her American adventure, Ming decided to make a move. She applied for asylum. It was based on her religious beliefs. Ming was a practitioner of Falun Gong, a Chinese spiritual practice that was facing persecution by the Chinese government. She fled China after being arrested by police in April 2008 during a raid on her home. Ming was detained for a month and subjected to physical punishment. She claimed that an officer ordered her to sign a statement promising not to practice Falun Gong. However, the judge deemed Ming's testimony not credible, citing inconsistencies between her statements, written submissions, and supporting evidence. As a result, she was ordered to be deported to China. So, for the next 4 years, Ming fought tooth and nail against deportation while crafting her own version of the American dream. In the midst of this, and in March 2010, they got married. 7 months later, the pitter-patter of tiny feet fills their home with the arrival of their firstborn, Jojo. Now, let's fast forward to the summer of 2011. The couple takes a leap and opens their own Chinese restaurant, Ang's Asian Cuisine, in North Canton, Ohio. Liang was no stranger to the restaurant business, with his family previously running Lucky Star Restaurant for 11 years in the same spot. But this time, Ming and Liang wanted something uniquely theirs. The dynamic duo wore all the hats at the restaurant, working tirelessly with no employees to make their dreams thrive. The locals showered them with love, praising the fresh dishes, speedy deliveries, and the warm vibes the couple brought to the table. It's not just about food, it's about building connections with their customers. Then, in December 2011, they welcomed their second daughter, Ashley. Running a successful eatery and raising a family became a juggling act. 6 days a week, they navigate the hustle and bustle, balancing business and family life. Ming Ming makes a tough call to stay put and double down on managing the restaurant. But juggling the restaurant and parenting proved to be a mountain too high to climb. So, in a bittersweet move, Ashley and Jojo packed their bags and head to New York to stay with their grandparents. It was a tough decision, a temporary measure to keep the family afloat. Little did they know, this separation would stretch over 2 long years, until the girls finally reunite with their parents in Ohio come October 2015. Now, let's zoom in on Ashley's side of the story. Living with her grandparents seems to have left a mark. When she returns to Ohio, she got a bit rebellious. Parenting Ashley becomes a challenge, and managing the restaurant alongside a seemingly unruly child takes a toll on Ming Ming. To add to the storm, Liang's behavior took a dark turn. He became abusive, unleashing his frustrations on Ming Ming. As they try to settle into a new rhythm, Jojo started school, and Liang took on the daily task of drop-offs and pickups. Yet, despite their grind, financial struggles persisted. Ashley became a regular at the restaurant, with Ming Ming and Liang clocking in long hours, the girls finding their own world behind the cash register or in the back room. Even though Ashley was a difficult child forming Ming, the customers at the restaurant remember her as sociable, greeting customers with a massive grin. But then, on the quiet night of January 9th, 2017, in Jackson Township, Ohio, at 9:30 p.m., the routine for the local police was disrupted by an unexpected phone call. Liang, on the other end of the line, reported a distressing situation.
Jackson Township Police.
Hi, yes, I need some help.
Okay, where are you at?
4924 Portage Street.
Hey, what's going on?
I can't find my daughter.
Okay, how old is she?
5. She just turned 5.
Okay, and you're at Ames?
Thanks, yeah.
When's the last time you seen her?
This afternoon, probably.
Around what time?
3, maybe 4.
In the background, Ming Ming could be heard shouting out the correct time of her disappearance. It's 5.
3, maybe 4.
So you haven't seen her in 5 hours?
You saw her in 5?
What was she wearing?
She's wearing a purple winter coat. I don't know what those things are called, but they're not jeans. They're like,
Like leggings?
Yeah.
Okay, and you haven't seen her in 5 hours?
About, yeah. I mean, she was there sleeping. I mean, you know.
Where was she sleeping at? In the restaurant?
Yeah. She was sleeping there, and I picked up my older daughter from school. We all saw her sleeping there. So, and, you know, we went to work, and, you know, we let her sleep. We got busy, and then, after it got busy, you know, we started cleaning up, and then, you know, we opened the door, and she's not here.
Okay, sir, what's your name?
Liang Zhao.
Okay, do you have any videos or anything in there where you can see a video to see if she was laying there?
No. We don't have any security camera in there. It's just in the restaurant. We've been here for 6 years. We never had security cameras here. We saw her, like all of us, like my wife, myself, and my older daughter.
Okay, and so was there any suspicious people that came in at all? Do you think she could have walked out and ran out somewhere?
I have no idea. I mean, she was sleeping in the back.
None of your employees had seen her?
There's only 2 of us, just myself and my wife. There's nobody else in the restaurant. But when we came back, she's here. Like, my wife is here. The restaurant's open. The restaurant's always open.
When you left, you said you, your wife, and your daughter left to go pick up your daughter from school?
No, I didn't say that. I said my wife is here all the time.
Okay, and your wife hasn't seen her either since around 4 or 5 o'clock?
When I meant was myself, okay? When I went to pick up my daughter, when we came back, myself and my daughter, not my wife. My wife was here the whole time.
That's right. What's your daughter's name?
Ashley.
Ashley was tired and had gone to sleep in the back room of the restaurant. Liang explained that he had picked up their oldest daughter from school, and upon returning, they discovered Ashley missing. When the restaurant quieted down, she had vanished from the back room.
All right, my officer's outside if you want to go and meet my officer at the door, okay?
He's here right now?
Yeah, he's already outside.
In the front or the back?
He should be in the front.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
In less than 3 minutes of making the 911 call while Liang was still talking to the first responder over the phone, an officer from the Jackson Township Police Department was already at his door. A 5-year-old was stranded on the streets at night in the Ohio cold. Ashley was in grave danger. Concerns grew, prompting the Ohio Attorney General's office to issue a missing child alert for Ashley.
And actually, guys, most recently in this very parking lot, we saw BCI, that's the investigative unit, through the Attorney General's office. So it's safe to say this massive search is being taken very seriously today.
The FBI and Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation were called in to assist. They suspected that Ashley might have wandered out the back door while the parents were engrossed in their restaurant duties. Although she had done so on previous occasions, this time the weather was treacherous, extremely cold.
Breaking news, a community shaken as police in Jackson Township search for this little girl, 5-year-old Ashley Zhao.
A search party commenced at the restaurant, extending their efforts to a wooded area behind. The community joined in on the search.
Douglas Panzarello works across the street. He goes to Ang's Chinese cuisine all the time.
When I leave work today, I am going to drive around the back. I'm going to do my own little search.
The fear was that Ashley had wandered out and gotten lost, especially given the thick brush and water between the strip shopping plaza and State College. The search faced challenges due to the low visibility in the blizzard. The Jackson Township Fire Department deployed drones for a quicker scan of the area, while investigators simultaneously searched inside the restaurant. The unsettling realization emerged that no one had witnessed Ashley wandering off, leaving the possibility that she might still be inside, perhaps stuck somewhere, perhaps in a dryer or cubbyhole. A thorough search of the entire restaurant started again. The search extended to the public, urging anyone with information to contact the police.
If you are in this area, you are asked to be on the lookout for this little girl. We just showed you her picture several times.
Ashley was last seen wearing a purple winter coat and gray leggings. Despite the family's tragic situation, they opted not to make a personal plea in the media. Investigators also called for information from anyone who had been at the family's restaurant on the Monday in question.
We worked very hard on this case, and the one thing we wanted at the end of the day was to recover that girl alive.
Search efforts faced challenging weather conditions, with some investigators battling the cold and snowy conditions outside, while others stayed inside the restaurant. The uncertainty surrounding the situation led investigators to treat the restaurant as potentially a crime scene, keeping it secure and keeping their eyes open for clues. And then during the search in the kitchen, investigators discovered a crawl space above the walk-in freezer that hadn't been explored yet. It was large enough for a child to squeeze into. Upon opening it, they found a container filled with what appeared to be salt. It took them a moment to realize a small hand was poking out of the salt. It was Ashley. She was found dead. The innocent child had never gone missing. She was hidden away, in the company of her own parents all along. Ashley's body was taken to the medical examiner's office, where the autopsy revealed she had suffered severe injuries to both her head and body. The news was devastating. Everything started to make sense now. The way Liang was startled when the first responder told him the police were already there. Why the family opted not to make a personal plea to the public on the media. Why there were no eyewitnesses who saw Ashley walk out of the restaurant. Everything started to make sense now. Ming Ming and Liang were arrested. Ming Ming faced charges of murder and felonious assault, while Liang was charged with complicity to murder and complicity to commit felonious assault. Both were ordered to be held on a $5 million bond. Such a high bond was placed because of Ming Ming's undocumented status, raising the possibility of her fleeing. The same concerns also existed about Liang if he was released. Meanwhile, a makeshift memorial formed outside the family's restaurant. Grief-stricken members of the public left stuffed animals, bouquets of flowers, and condolence cards. That night, a steady stream of people gathered for a vigil in Ashley's memory in front of the restaurant.
I just can't believe a mom can do that to her child.
A shared sentiment took center stage. What happened to Ashley was unforgivable. Those in attendance expressed their reflections on the tragic events. Many mentioned they never saw any signs of abuse or neglect, describing Ashley as simply adorable.
Of our hearts, and with her story, we will work to maybe one day make peace in this world.
Maggie Wells, a 12-year-old, along with her mother, were patrons at the restaurant. Both vividly recall encountering the little girl during their visits. One attendee mentioned giving Ashley a coloring book and crayons, as they often saw her engaged in coloring activities. People who knew the family, especially Liang Zhao, found it hard to believe the man they knew was charged with such a horrific crime. They couldn't believe that Liang would ever intentionally harm his daughters. As soon as Ming and Liang were arrested, they were separated and taken to different interrogation rooms at the police station. Early in the questioning, Ming was informed of Ashley's death. According to investigators, she showed no emotion. Was it because of the grieving mother's coping mechanism, or was she truly a monster? In the interview, she claimed that after Ashley returned to her parents from New York, Ashley's demeanor completely changed. For Ming, Ashley was a difficult child who refused to listen and lashed out at her sister when she didn't get her way. And how did Ming's response to Ashley acting up? She would beat her up.
I love her, but Ashley just doesn't like normal girl, normal kids. She do everything bad. After that, his mother fight my husband. Say a lot of bad words. Do you know why? Because she want to leave. She doesn't want to stay with us. I tell you all the truth, sir.
I know you did.
Their parents told us everything. It's nothing. Do you know why now we have a restaurant, we have house? It's all from me and my husband.
Right.
No one else.
Right. You worked hard on that.
And when Ashley almost 4, not 4, like 3 maybe,
Sure.
His parents want to take Ashley to China. And their team here made a passport. Do you know what did she say? She got a lot of bad words. Do you know why they say that? Because they doesn't like me. Because I don't have green card. I don't have green card. It wasn't my fault. That's okay. Because I love my husband. I don't care about that. And we done the passport. Ashley go to China, and I talked to my husband. Say when Ashley come back, we bring Ashley back here because Ashley almost 4. Jojo 5. They're not together like 4 years. They're not close together, not too close. And we want her back here soon.
She rationalized the reasons behind her actions, portraying them as a twisted justification. She also attempted to position herself as a victim, pointing to her in-laws as contributing to her circumstances.
I need to take care of everything from the restaurant. I only have 2 hands. I'm not 4 hands girl. I'm 2 hands. I don't want to do that to Ashley, but you can control yourself sometimes.
Ming channeled her frustration rising from typical Chinese in-law issues and excessive workload onto her vulnerable daughter. She was overwhelmed, trying to manage both her home and the business. She complained about the struggle of having only 2 hands, not 4. Interrogators can't help but notice her uncanny, emotionless demeanor.
I know that you're not crying. You said I don't have nothing left. Isn't that what you told me? You don't have no tears left. You don't have nothing left. Ming Ming, your daughter's dead.
Notice how her answers got even more straight and shorter when the interrogator asked what happened to Ashley.
What happened to Ashley? How'd she die?
I'll kill her.
You killed her?
Yeah.
How did you kill her?
I'm gonna just kill her.
Ming Ming. Was it an accident? What happened?
I killed her.
Even though she was answering, but she wasn't really opening up.
How did she die?
Just kill her, and then she died.
Did you hit her?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you hit her?
How?
Yeah. What
Use
happened?
hand to do that?
Okay.
Throughout the interrogation, Ming Ming maintained that Ashley never listened to her or her husband. She repeatedly asked to speak with her husband, but her request was denied. When questioned about what happened with Ashley's body, Ming Ming responded, "I told my husband to take care of it, and I don't know how he took care of it."
I told my husband to take care of it.
Okay. So you're telling me that you told your husband?
I told my husband to take care of it.
Ming Ming confessed to beating her daughter to death. She also admitted that her husband helped her to take care of the body. In the other interrogation room, Liang Zhao was interviewed for nearly an hour. He had no idea his wife had already confessed to everything. He maintained his innocence for a while, but then saw his intricate web of lies gradually unraveling. Eventually, he reached a breaking point, finally revealing the truth about the events of the fateful morning.
What happened yesterday morning?
Okay, yesterday morning, we got up, we prepped JoJo for school. I took JoJo to school. I came back. When I came back, my wife was very angry at Ashley because she peed on her diaper and she pooped on her diaper. I know this doesn't sound like a big deal, but she's 5 years old and she's not potty trained, like ever. And I'll explain that a little later. So, when you're 5 years old, you still don't know how to poop and potty.
He revealed that the murder didn't occur at the restaurant, but it all happened at their apartment. While Ming Ming failed to provide a clear motivation for the fatal beating, Liang disclosed that she became angry when she discovered that Ashley had soiled her diaper.
And my wife got angry and hit her head on the carpet, 2 times. And initially she was breathing. She was still breathing then. And
Did you watch? Did you see your wife do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was home at that time.
What time was it about?
Usually after I drop off the 9-ish. I can't say approximately because I don't look at a time. My wife is banging Ashley said on the carpet. It was 9:15. 9-ish, 9:15, I guess.
Liang admitted to witnessing the entire horrific incident, explaining that, afterward, Ashley appeared to be breathing, but was lying motionless on the floor.
So, right then she wasn't breathing?
No, she was breathing. She was breathing, and...
was there any blood or anything?
No, there's no blood.
Was she walking?
No, she wasn't walking. She was breathing, but she was lying down because she was gasping, like it was. I can't really remember or recall exactly what, but it was a lot heavier than normal. And then a little later, I went to hold her and just didn't feel right. And I checked her heart and stopped beating. So I started panicking and I tried to do CPR on her, try to breathe. And that's when we realized she's gone.
Liang continued his harrowing account, mentioning that initially he thought Ashley would snap out of it, but she began gasping for air. He then discovered that Ashley wasn't breathing and green fluid was coming from her mouth. Liang took Ashley to the bathroom, attempting to revive her with CPR, but his efforts were in vain. In the horrifying aftermath of her death, Liang and Ming Ming found themselves confronted with the daunting question of what to do next.
So what happened?
We talked about it. And
Talked about what?
she said that, we're both afraid. We're both afraid what was going to happen if we called.
Okay.
I wanted to send her away so that, I'll be there. If someone gets in trouble, it'll be me, and she'll be okay. And I kind of wish it didn't happen this way. Now both of us are in really big trouble.
Fearing the loss of everything they had built, the pair chose not to alert the authorities. Instead, they opted to stage her death to appear as an abduction or an accident.
We couldn't decide what to do, and, after a while, we decided, both of us, I don't know exactly who came up with what, but, we should bring her to the restaurant so JoJo can see her. So JoJo, when you guys ask her, I was thinking maybe that wasn't a good idea, but I wasn't thinking clearly at the time. So, bring her to the restaurant so JoJo can see her so that when we call, JoJo can say, oh, she was here at the restaurant and she left the back door at the restaurant instead of, at the house. She accidentally got killed.
When they couldn't come up with a viable plan, Ming Ming and Liang strapped Ashley into her car seat and transported her body to the restaurant, aiming to give her sister the impression that Ashley was simply asleep. Liang explained that they believed 6-year-old JoJo could be persuaded to think Ashley was okay.
So,
Where were you gonna put her at the restaurant so JoJo could see her?
and, at the room that she was normally in, she sleeps in there. So, JoJo will see that she's sleeping there and can verify it, and, she's sick, so, and even if you ask her to take a polygraph, I don't know if you ask a 6-year-old to take a polygraph, but a 6-year-old wouldn't lie like that, and so we didn't want JoJo to lie, so we want JoJo to see Ashley there. Okay.
In the back room of the restaurant, they laid Ashley down while they continued working, serving customers and preparing food.
My wife is a good person. I know it's very hard to believe, seeing Ashley, but look at JoJo. Look at JoJo, she's a good person. We knew that something like this would happen eventually if Ashley wasn't sent away. But we couldn't send her by my mom because my mom will raise her like this again. I was just hoping that, it wouldn't come to this before we sent her away.
Why didn't you raise Ashley yourself?
I was running a restaurant. Couldn't really take care of everything, so I naturally could trust my mom.
When did the abuse start with your wife and Ashley?
About a little bit after a month after she arrived. In the beginning, it was not that bad. And the thing with Ashley was that she still doesn't know to potty in the bathroom. So that really gets my wife going because we have her for a year now. She still can't. She's still not potty trained.
Getting back to the last night, you guys actually cooked and served meals while your daughter was laying there.
Yes.
And went on business as usual.
Yes.
According to Liang, the initial plan was for JoJo to come home, see Ashley there, and be deceived into thinking everything was okay.
The plan was for JoJo to come home and see her there to verify that she's there, and then I would hide her up on top of the walk-in freezer. And then when we called the police at night, JoJo could verify that she was there. Now that JoJo, she's not a liar, but she's 6. And when you lean her towards something, that's where she goes. And she's not a liar. She doesn't lie to people, but she is 6. When you point her at a direction, that's where she's going to go.
Liang eventually stuffed Ashley's body into a plastic container and placed it in the walk-in freezer to prevent any odor.
And then I moved her, to the walk-in freezer, put her in that plastic container, so that she wouldn't stink.
What kind of container was it?
That was plastic, those busting containers for like restaurants. And that's when we were going to call the police, and we were hoping that the police would come here and look. And I said, oh, we didn't expect this. We didn't know the procedure exactly what's going on. We didn't know that I was going to come down here, take a polygraph. I was going to be asked so much questions. There was going to be so many people involved. If we knew that there was going to be like 100 people searching for, maybe even more, I don't even know. I am so sorry.
When asked about the ultimate plan, Liang admitted he intended to burn, bury, or throw Ashley into the ocean after investigators left the restaurant. Fortunately, this gruesome plan was never carried out.
What were your plans to do after maybe we quit looking for her? What were you going to do?
We don't really know. There was three things: if I burn it, bury it, or throw it in the ocean. Those are the only three things that we can think of. And we know that. I think that's probably one of the reasons. Other than the fact that there's so many reasons why I told Randy what I told Randy. But one of the reasons is Randy mentioned it, and I know, without him telling me, I know is, if let's say that I went through with this and I didn't get caught, I'm going to be looking over my shoulder for I don't know how long. It's because there's a dead body there. Honestly, we weren't really too sure on what to do after that.
2 days after the arrest, a custody hearing for JoJo took place. It was determined that she would remain in the custody of Stark County Job and Family Services. Details of Ming Ming's plight to stay in the United States became public, bringing attention to her immigration status. Local Falun Gong practitioners were outraged, expressing that Falun Gong teaches people to be truthful, compassionate, and tolerant. It teaches people to be good, not lie, and to be kind to everyone, including their daughters. Many Falun Gong practitioners lived in the area and argued that if Ming Ming was a true practitioner, someone in the community would recognize her. They all suggested that Ming Ming might have used the faith as an excuse not to return to China, stating that many Chinese use Falun Gong as a reason to seek asylum. Meanwhile, it was decided that Ashley would be laid to rest in New York, where Liang's family lived. In September, Liang appeared in court and dramatically changed his plea. He pleaded guilty to obstructing justice, corpse abuse, tampering with evidence, and endangering children. This decision was part of a plea agreement where Liang agreed to testify against Ming Ming in her upcoming trial in exchange for a 12-year sentence. Throughout the interrogation, Ming Ming repeatedly asked to speak with Liang. She confided in the psychologist that Liang was the one responsible for Ashley's death, instructing her to tell investigators that she was the culprit. Liang allegedly explained that if Ming Ming confessed, he could get out of jail and care for JoJo. He warned that if she didn't confess, JoJo would be placed in foster care. Ming Ming was ordered to stand trial, but she too agreed to a plea deal. Ming Ming was then sentenced to 22 years in prison. Additionally, it was decided that upon completing her sentence, she would be deported to China. Liang was sentenced to 12 years in prison. JoJo remained under the temporary custody of Stark County Job and Family Services for a while, but then she was allowed to live with her relatives in New York, where her sister Ashley was buried. Her parents would be in prison long enough for her to be a grown adult, able to protect herself by the time they were released. In honor of Ashley Zhao's memory, please consider subscribing to True Crime Stories to ensure that tragic stories like hers don't go unnoticed. You can help to raise awareness and encourage justice for those who need it the most. Like, subscribe, and stand with our channel in making a difference.